Power. In our modern world, the word power seems to make people uncomfortable. It has negative connotations of greed, evil, and corruption. It is undesirable and dirty, and no one seems to want to admit to the world that they want power. We like to convince people and ourselves that we are saintly and good individuals who care for the well-being of others. We imagine that we are pure and we would never hurt anyone or kill another person in cold blood, that it is always the other person who is the aggressor and not us. We deceive ourselves and repress this urge for power, relegating it into the shadows. The truth is that everybody wants power. The world is one big power struggle, the clash of egos combating to be alpha. Dominance, it keeps our blood boiling and we hunger for it like a starved prisoner. Standing over your body makes me feel good. I yearn to make you submit to my will and my point of view. Power is everything. It is control and persuasion. It sucks to not be able to persuade anybody. It makes you feel weak and not in control of the situation. You feel like a bystander, a passenger moving along with the wind blowing you in every direction. It makes you feel like a victim of life. Power puts you in control. You become a creator, a god. A god, that's what everybody secretly yearns to be. To have undisputed power and influence over everything and everyone. In pursuit of this untold power, life creates a Hitler and a Stalin. Because if God is a fabrication of the mind created to derive meaning in an absurd world, then maybe I can fill that gap. I can be God and control people's perception of reality. He won't intervene because he's not real. I am God now, and I will prove it by starting wars and conquering other nations. All is power, and that's the motivation for serial killers. To kill, plain and simple. Jeffrey Dahmer murdered people for the power it gave him. It gave him a rush. It was intoxicating. He felt power, knowing he separated your spirit from your body. He kept souvenirs, his victims' skulls, skeletons, and took pictures of the severed body parts to remind himself of the power he had over you. It was the same with Charles Manson. He had the power of persuasion. He recruited young girls to his cult and convinced them to commit horrendous crimes. If I live in your mind, I can convince you to slit somebody's throat from ear to ear, and that's what Manson had. Permanent residence in these girls' mind. They revered him, going so far as calling him Jesus. Power is possession. It is psychological. It is forceful. It is desirable. If I have power over you, I can do whatever I like. The denial of the desirability of power leads to slavery because the shadow has taken a control of you. Your undesirable impulses and urges needs an outlet, so you disregard my right to life as a human being to justify your repressions. So you humiliate me, break me down, vilify me to feed the beast that has taken control of you. You don't even feel bad about it because you are a good church-going Christian who believes in community and doing the right thing. Power. You have to be aware of the laws to get to the pinnacle. The victims of Jeffrey Dahmer had one thing in common. They took the free lunch. Maybe Dahmer was charming and charismatic. It would certainly explain how he lured his victims to his place. But if someone offers you a big paycheck for something menial, then that's a red flag because they are after your soul. That's how Harvey Weinstein comes into the picture. Suck my dick and you'll get the part. Come on. Every young actress sucked dick to get to the top. You suck his dick and there's no coming back. He's got power over you. He lives in your head rent-free. Worse is that you need this. You are a nobody and he's a billionaire who controls Hollywood. What are you going to do? It's easy to despise the free lunch when you are not hungry. If you depend upon your own arms, you stay hungry for a while, maybe for a long time, but you have power and it accumulates. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years you become a big player in the game. Power. You need to delay gratification to attain it. Sucking executives' dicks will only make you a pawn. Elizabeth Holmes played the game of power beautifully. She was charismatic and magnetic, used theatricalities and fed people's need to believe. She modeled herself after her hero Steve Jobs by embodying his spirit. She wore the type of clothes Steve Jobs wore, copied his mannerisms and how he used to present his products to the world. Investors thought that she was the next Steve Jobs. They saw Steve Jobs reincarnated. They gave her millions for her company. They fell in love with her. She graced the covers of top magazines like Fortune's and Forbes. She was labeled a genius and an innovator despite the fact that she hadn't produced anything revolutionary. Everyone mistook appearances for reality. Her company, Theranos, was a hoax. She deceived everyone to get to the very top, meeting world leaders and presidents in the process. Like on The Godfather, power like war is deception. Never let anyone know what you are thinking and you hold all the cards. That's where Santino Corleone got it wrong. By revealing what he thought, he compromised the family. He showed Solozzo that the Corleone family were not united in the decision to not operate in the narcotics business, and Barzini took advantage. Power is double standards and smokescreens, and Barzini played the game beautifully by keeping his hands clean and getting Solozzo and Tartaglia to do the job for him while he sat on the sidelines and pulled the strings. Santino's mistake nearly cost the family everything. It was through the grace of God that Don Vito Corleone survived that hit. Power is getting people to play the cards that you deal. Power is cunning and deceitful. Power is concealing your intentions, like Haymon Roth pretending to be an alliance for Michael Corleone while at the same time plotting his death. Power is crushing your enemy totally, like when Michael Corleone assassinated the heads of the 5 criminal bosses all at once to cement his power at the helm. Power is power. It deserves its negative connotations.